Hello everybody, and welcome back to How to Do IELTS Writing Task 2 General and Academic video series. This is part 4 of 4, and in the first part we covered basic information that you need to know to do the question correctly. Video 2 covered question types and structure. Video 3 covered how the essays are marked. And video 4, today's video, is going to cover the stages of writing. Now, sometimes we call the stages of writing the writing process. So, what is a writing process and why do we need one? Well, a writing process is a step-by-step plan that you can follow every time you write an IELTS essay. This makes the task more manageable because it gives you bite-sized chunks to go at. It also gets the most from your time, managing your time effectively. It also ensures that you don't miss out any important parts of the question. If you do this, your score for your task achievement will be reduced significantly. It also can help reduce exam stress and prevent you from freezing on the actual test day. Having a process that you're confident in and that you've practiced over and over again can enable you to go into the exam knowing what you're going to do, knowing that you have some type of control, and that can stop you from panicking on the actual day. So let's have a look at my recommended writing process. I've called it the 5 steps to success. Step 1 is preparing to write. Step 2 is writing the introduction. Step 3 is writing the main body of the essay. And step 4 is writing the final paragraph. Step 5 is checking what you have written. The timings I've given there do have some flexibility in them. Obviously, if you spend only 5 or 6 minutes in your preparation stage, then you have that available elsewhere. But those timings are a good guide as to how you should be managing your time. The preparation phase is particularly important. Spending time doing this correctly will actually save you time during the essay. If you do the preparation phase correctly, then you know what you're going to do with the rest of your time. If you don't, then you end up, often students will just start writing things off the top of their head without enough thought or structure to them. This can reduce your marks for coherence and cohesion quite a lot. So let's look at these steps in more detail now, starting with the preparing to write phase. So what exactly are you going to do here? Well, once you're onto your task 2, you've got 40 minutes available. The first thing you need to do is identify the question type. We went through this in video 2. Secondly, you need to underline keywords, and that includes instruction words like describe, give reasons, or provide examples, or discuss. They are instruction words, but also the topic keywords as well. What are the keywords on the subject that it's actually about? You should also make a note of any ideas that you come up with. Now, these ideas are for your main body paragraphs. They don't need to be incredibly original. They can just be the normal common sense point of view. You do not get marks for having really original new, strange, different ideas. So don't worry about brainstorming lots and lots and lots of ideas to try and get the newest or most original idea. Use a common sense point of view is fine. Also, you should note down any synonyms around the question for any of the topic keywords. You can then use these synonyms, which are words, different words that have the same meaning, later when you write your introduction and body paragraphs and conclusion, and this will show that you have a range of vocabulary. So again, this will help to increase your band score. So let's take a look at what your paper might look like. So here's an example of a writing task 2 question. I'll give you a moment. First, I'm going to underline the topic keywords. So, a person's worth nowadays seems to be judged according to social status and material possessions. Old-fashioned values such as honour, kindness and trust no longer seem important. Next, I'm going to add some synonyms for those words I've identified. So I've got value for worth, awarded or determined for judged, rank for social status, earthly rather than material, traditional and conservative for old-fashioned, and loyalty for honour, kindness and trust. Next, I need to underline the instruction keywords, which are: to what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So, having done that, you should have a good idea about what the question is about and what it's asking you to do. You'll already have started thinking about ideas, but now you need to take a few moments to make a bullet points plan of what your essay will look like. So it might look like something like this. Point 1, your introduction, and you're going to say that you agree with it. I've decided that I agree with that point of view, so I'm going to say that in the introduction. Paragraph 2, my main point is that teenagers always seem to want the newest gadget these days, and that seems to be more important to them than anything else. So that's my second bullet point. Third bullet point is that the popularity of traditional hobbies seems to be declining somewhat. You don't really hear people talking about knitting or crochet as much as I imagine they did in the past. And this could have some effect on people's value judgments. And then there'll be a summary. So I've got 4 points. I know what I'm going to do, so I can then get on with writing the essay. Confident that I've got a structure I can use for managing my time effectively. Okay, on to stage 2, writing the introduction. Here I'm going to do 3 things. First, I'm going to rephrase the question. Secondly, I'm going to add my opinion. Thirdly, I'm going to state how I'm going to structure the essay. Let's have a look at an example of this. This is the introduction I have written to the last question, which was asking about people's values. So, The first sentence is me rephrasing the question, showing that I understand what it's about. Let's see what I've written. In recent years, it has been said that a person's earthly possessions now tend to determine a person's social rank rather than traditional values such as loyalty and trustworthiness. As you can see, I've used some of the synonyms from my planning stage that they've really helped me in rephrasing this first sentence. The second sentence is my opinion, because the question, if you remember, asked if I agreed or disagreed. So personally, I feel that this is a fact of modern life. And then the third sentence is saying what I will do in the essay. This essay will discuss the main reasons why this is now the case. So I've got a clearly structured introduction there, doing the three things that you would expect an introduction to do. The next stage is stage 3, writing the main body paragraphs of the essay. Now, each paragraph should do these three things. The first sentence should state your main point. This is often called a topic sentence. It should also, in the second sentence, then be developed somehow. And you can do this by adding evidence, explanation, experience, or example. Let's have a look how I've done this for the same question we wrote the introduction for. So, these days, when people meet for the first time, it seems to be that they are more interested in discovering what items each other own rather than giving them time to prove what personal characteristics they may possess. That is my topic sentence, it's my main point. I'm then going to develop this a little bit more. This seems particularly true when single people are searching for a potential life partner. Well, obviously nobody wants to marry someone with no money, do they? And then I've given an example to back this up. A relative of mine who is recently single received little interest in his dating profile until he added the words Jaguar and doctor to his profile. Obviously, Jaguar is a type of very expensive car, and a doctor clearly is normally very well paid. So that gives a good example of that backs up my main topic sentence. So those are the three parts you can include in your main body paragraphs. Using that format will work well. Stage 4 is writing the final paragraph. Now, this will depend on which type of essay question you're doing. If you're giving both sides of an argument style essay, then you will summarize both sides and give a statement of your opinion. If you're doing the essay where you're required to give an opinion and justify it, then you're going to restate your opinion and give a brief summary of the reasons in your final paragraph. If you're doing a problem solution essay, then your final paragraph should summarize the main problems and offer your best solution. This should be fairly easy to do, as you've already stated your main arguments, your main points, and you just need to pick those things out. Normally, just looking back at your topic sentences will help you to write a summary here. So finally, stage 5. This is where you need to check your essay. Remember that in IELTS, spelling, punctuation and grammar are all very important. They do form part of the marking criteria, so any last little adjustments you can make sure you do that. You also need to ensure that you have answered the question. However, at this stage, it's going to be difficult to completely change your essay. But if you have prepared correctly, like I showed you at the beginning, it's unlikely that you will have not answered the question correctly. However, there would still be time to adjust the conclusion if you felt you needed to do so. So, checking your spelling, punctuation and grammar is essential to do. So, don't forget, prepare to write, underline keywords, write synonyms, bullet point your ideas. Write the introduction, paraphrase the question, state your opinion and structure of your essay. Write the main body paragraphs, use topic sentences with supporting points. Provide evidence, explanation, examples or experience. Add the final paragraph, making your position clear. And then finally reread and check your grammar. Okay, time for a quick quiz. Pause the video after each question and try and think of the answer. Question number 1. Why should you follow a writing process? Well, basically, it makes the task more manageable. It gets the most from your time. It means you don't miss things out, and it can reduce your nerves and stop you from freezing on the day. Question 2. What is step 1 and why is it so important? Well, step 1 is the preparing to write stage, and this is where you make sure you understand the question, which is really important, because if you don't understand the question, your essay is going to score low for task achievements. It also enables you to think of your main ideas for your body paragraph, and also to come up with some synonyms that you can use throughout your essay. Question number 3. What do you do to develop your main ideas in your body paragraphs? Well, I like to think of the 4 E's here: evidence, explanation, experience, or example. Using any of those can help you develop your main point. And question number 4, why is the final step important? Well, the final step is checking your work. So remember that your spelling, your punctuation and your grammar is important. It is part of the marking process. So any last minute corrections you can do are all going to help you. Okay, right. That is the end of this 4-part video series of how to do IELTS Writing Task 2. I hope that you've enjoyed it and you've gotten more understanding about how to do it. There is, of course, more detail and explanation provided at IELTSfreeway.com. So please subscribe, like and share this video if you've enjoyed it so that other people can benefit from it. And I hope to see you over at IELTSfreeway.com sometime soon.